Hello, I'm Elena Hansen, the artistic producer for Theatreworks, and I'm so happy to be speaking with Kristin Skye Hoffmann, who will be directing our upcoming production of Jeffrey Hatcher's The Turn of the Screw. So many
Indeed.
people know the original story by Henry James or the various TV and film adaptations, but for those who don't, or that want to hear your take on it, what do you think the play is about, Kristin?
Well, on its basis, on its most basic level, it's about a governess who is, or a young woman who's hired to be a governess and sent out to a remote estate, a beautiful mansion, that is theoretically deeply haunted. She's there to take care of two little children who have lost their parents and have are in this brand new place that is really spooky and really beautiful, and all the things that sort of live within the walls of this home. It's about a lot more. It's about I don't know, expectations of women in society. It's about like what's really a ghost, right? Is it something that's an actual specter, or is it something that's following you or being put upon you? There's a lot of really great tension in it, and I'm really excited to dive in.
We are too. What
Yeah.
makes you want to do this one now?
Well, I was thinking about that. It's such a great question. And this play, the original novella, was put together in 1890, and that was sort of in the Gilded Age. And the Gilded Age was all about bright, shiny things on the outside and kind of horrible things happening on the inside. It's when the corporations were sort of starting to take over, and there was a wide class disparity. Women weren't treated very well, but it was also like right at the pinnacle of the suffrage movement. And so while no one had the vote yet, it was starting to take hold. They were starting to incorporate that kind of thing. And honestly, if we're looking at the political climate these days, it feels a little too close to home. There is too big a class disparity. And while this certainly is not a political piece on its surface, it definitely has a lot of themes that feel very current.
Agreed. And with shows like The Gilded Age, I think that's brought a lot of that vernacular back to pop culture again, which is great. If anybody didn't watch that show, highly recommend.
Mhm.
Right. Who do you think would be excited to come and see this show?
Well, anyone like me who loves a nice dark story, who is really excited by horror stories, especially really good literature, that's always those are people who I think will appreciate it. There's lots of tension, and it's sort of an immersive experience because the play will be staged in the round, meaning that the audience will surround the actors on stage. They will hopefully become sort of the walls of the house, right? While these actors are performing this story in front of them. Also, people who love brilliant acting. We have a very strong and exciting cast. It's really an interesting adaptation that Hatcher has put together because one of the actors plays the governess from start to finish, and the other actor plays every other role in the play. Um, I think that's always fascinating to watch. Also, anybody who got very excited by the Mike Flanagan adaptations that were recently going on Netflix, he's the one who retold a modern adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor, etc. There's a lot more, but The Haunting of Bly Manor is exactly pulled from this source material. And if you liked that, you should definitely move back in time a little bit, see where it came from, and come like immerse yourself in the tension and the darkness and the fog of all of this.
I'm so excited about this one. I loved both of those shows too.
Me too.
Do you think that it's going to be appropriate for children?
That's a good question. There are some themes that are a little questionable when it comes to, the safety of kids. I don't know. It might be appropriate. I think it depends on the kid. It's not necessarily violent, but it is very spooky. And so if you are prepared to sit with a kid and talk through the nightmare they just had that night, then bring them.
We at TheatreWorks do always say it is very dependent on the child. If you do
Always.
have questions about it, you can contact Lily DiSilverio by calling us 719-255-3232 or emailing lily.disilverio@uccs.edu. So we invite all of you to come and join us to see Turn of the Screw. It will be performing from March 14th through April 6th, 2025. We'll be performing Thursdays to Sundays in the Osborne Theater, which is the smaller black box upstairs at the End Center for the Arts. So thank you so much, Kristin, and for all of you for supporting TheatreWorks and the Colorado Springs arts community. See you at the
Thank
show.
you.